I thought, you know what? A lot of times people say, I want to be a millionaire or I want to build something, but, and that's really the key. If you don't take care of your body, you're not going to take care of your business. That's the bottom line, because there's going to be plenty of people telling you what you can do, but you only have to believe in yourself and say, this is what I can do, and go get it done.
The HeartSeat is a podcast featuring high-impact entrepreneurial women who lead with heart and turn purpose into prosperity. Each episode delivers insight, rich conversations, practical strategy, and a fresh perspective that helps you elevate your impact and lead with the kind of clarity and intention that amplifies your influence. Every conversation is designed to guide you toward a business grounded in purpose, powered by heart, and positioned for growth. Welcome to the HeartSeat. This is where real conversations happen with purpose-filled, strategic, heart-forward women who are building businesses, leading others, and doing it in a way that has significant, lasting impact. Today's conversation is one I've really been looking forward to. Jael Tanti is a founding member of HeartLink Network Women, and she and her husband have built a multi-million-dollar business in the health and wellness space through consistency, vision, and long-term commitment. But what makes this conversation different for me is that I've actually seen it up close. I've been to her office in Anaheim, California, and I've seen the hundreds of awards lining the walls from her years as a leader with Salad Master. And what stood out to me wasn't just the success. It was what it clearly took to build it, because that level of result doesn't happen by accident. So today, we're not just talking about what she built. We're talking about what it required, the decisions, the discipline, the setbacks, and who she had to become along the way. Jael, I'm really, really glad you're here.
Thank you.
So for the woman listening who sees results like that and wonders, how does that happen? And can it happen for me? I'd love to go back to the beginning, Jael, before the awards, before the income, before the recognition. So tell us, how did it all begin?
Well, it all began as you get to a point in your life where you get sick and tired, and decisions have to be made, and you are the only one that can make those decisions. And I realized that for most of my life, I blamed my circumstances on other people, and I took ownership of that. And I realized that that was in the past and something needed change. And the only person that could do that was myself. And it doesn't matter. And I tell everybody here, if you're listening to this recording, if you're listening to this message, take ownership on whatever it is that you have in your life or whatever it is that you want in your life, and follow through. Because you can have all the wishes, you can have everything, but if you're not willing to put the work and to really step out of that comfort zone, I call it also the but, right? We talked about it, and I thought, you know what? A lot of times people say, I want to be a millionaire or I want to build something, but, and that's really the key. For me, I was very poor. I had no money. I was down and out. I had creditors calling all the time. I was feeling the pressure, and I had to really do something. And thank God I came across the business of Salad Master, and that's where it all started. I gave myself 3 months, and I thought, I believe in the product, I believed in the company, I believed on everything that is surrounding me. I'm going to give it a go. And so there was times that I really wanted to quit because I wasn't a salesperson. I wasn't somebody that had experience. But experience comes from having bad judgment, and bad judgment that gives you the experience.
True.
And so I followed through, and here I am 30 years later.
So I'm going to rewind because I'm really curious about what your life looked like 30 years ago.
Well, 30 years ago, I was living in an apartment, people living downstairs, and I was upstairs with my husband. And we would put music and somebody be with a broom calling us all kinds of names. And I told my husband, I said, we got to get out of here. We got to do something. You know, we really need to work at this. And even when I came back from our honeymoon, we were just newly married. I had to go knock on doors to meet people because I didn't know anybody. And so that's how I actually started my business, with boots on the ground. So anybody that says you can't build a business from the ground up, they're lying to you, because you can. If you really want it, like Lenny Kravitz says, if you really want it, you got to believe in yourself and then just go for it.
So you two were just kids.
Kids.
You were kids. You found this company. It looked promising, and you thought, we're gonna, pull up our bootstraps and we're gonna go do what? What were you doing? Because now you've earned over your lifetime multi-millions of dollars. You live a great life. You have a beautiful family. You have a team that adores you, and that all started from those two young married people that decided we need to change our lives. And so when you did that, what were you doing before the recognition, the awards, before even money started coming in? What were you doing?
I wasn't working. I didn't have a job. I was a really bad employee. I needed to be my own boss. So I just fresh out of college, and somebody told me about this company, and I love to cook. I love to entertain. I say, you'll be good at this. And so I renounced to my education, and I decided to join this business. I didn't have a car. I didn't have any money, but somehow I had a heart. So I had to throw my heart over the fence and follow it. And I think that that's the key. When you believe in something, you can really get yourself to go, because there's nobody there encouraging you. There's nobody there giving you inspiration. Sure, I read tons of books. I took a lot of courses and that inspire me, but it also took the time to take the action, because a lot of times we can read a book, we get inspired, but if we don't apply what we learn, it's just useless information. And so for me, I had to apply everything. So I had to start learning about how to do sales. So I learned a lot from the great giants like Zig Ziglar, Tom Hopkins. And so I was just like a little girl absorbing all this and practicing and practicing in the mirror and talking to people. A lot of people told me no, but I said yes to myself.
And were there people in your life that thought, what are you doing? Like, that didn't support you?
My own family actually said, what are you doing? Like, selling pots and pans? And I'm like, I love it. You have to see this. And I also had to prove myself. I had to prove myself, not because they were negative, but I knew that what I believed would serve the people, would serve the community. And this family members did not believe in me until we started going and having our picture of the front cover of the magazine. We were 50 times world champions. We were 5 years in a row. We were 50 times national and 5 times world champions. Like, nobody could touch us.
Wow.
Until we actually decided to, back up a little bit and started training a lot of people. We moved 5 times.
Wow. So what caused your moves that many times?
Each time, at the time we were living in Canada, and I don't know if you've ever read the book "Who Moved My Cheese."
No.
Which is sometimes you
must read it.
Yeah, you get used to getting the success and everything, but eventually you will take like a hard curve, the economy, money devaluation, and the product was made in the U.S. So it's like, to me, my family was in the U.S., so it made sense naturally to expand our business into the United States, and we opened Happy Cooking in 2000.
Happy Cooking Company.
Happy Cooking Company.
That's a great name.
And thank you. We love to be happy. And so from there on, we just started again, moving from one country to another. Wow. And it wasn't easy. It was very hard. But I think that when you're passionate about something and that you know that you have the talent and you know that you can help other people, success is inevitable.
Mm-hmm. So this program is designed for entrepreneurial women to learn from successful entrepreneurs like you. And we're working, the vision is from purpose, from the heart, a big why usually. Yet some entrepreneurs aren't gaining that success. So what would you have, what's your best advice? Like what is, if they came to you and said, Jael, what are the top 2 things that you did that I can apply to my business to increase my income and possibly become a multimillionaire like you have?
First is know what you want. Number 2, know why you want it, which is your purpose. And number 3, massive action. Massive action. Success is, anybody can have success at any time, but those are the 3 most important things. Focus on what do you want, why do you want it, and take massive action. I call that the RPM. I learned that through Tony Robbins.
RPM.
Yes.
And so the
results,
R is
the
results,
yeah.
P is the
Purpose.
and M is the massive action.
Yeah.
Okay, that's a great acronym for all of us to focus
Yeah.
on daily.
Right.
And so all of these awards, when I looked at your office walls, and I'm not kidding, the walls are covered. It's everything from the largest crystal, you probably won the top awards, to rows and rows of plaques, because we were talking earlier, and I believe you said that for 29 years in a row, your team has been on the top in the company.
That's correct. And this is the whole thing. It's a lot of times people come in even in this business and they expect the same results as us. But the thing is, they don't do what it takes, what it took for us to be there. And so you're never afraid of success. You know, you have to put yourself in a situation that if you move from maybe a different city, you know, it's not the same from the city that you lived before. And so we knew that every single year we committed December, like I kid you not, people set goals on December 31st, right? But they never look at their goals until next December 31st, right? But
Not a good plan.
But for us, it was like December 31st. We would sit there with a bottle of champagne. You know, it was our time, my husband and I only. We never went to these other parties. And we would say, okay, what are some of the things that you want, that I wanted? What are some of the things that he wanted? And then what are some of the things that we wanted for the family, and also the things that we wanted for our business? So every year we would settle, we write everything down, and then we would celebrate in advance. So remember that. Sometimes you have to celebrate in advance, because it also tells your mind that it's already done. And so we celebrated and said, to 2026, here we come, or whatever year it was. And so we knew that we were going after it. And, you know, the great thing is that Master always put a carrot for us on the top, you know, maybe a trip, you know, maybe a Rolex, maybe this or that. Mm-hmm. And so we always said, we want that. Mm-hmm. And we knew the purpose. Why do we want to go? We've never been there, you know, and then we took massive action. So it always goes back to what you're willing to do for really what you're after.
Mm-hmm. I heard there serious planning.
Yeah.
So you have to plan.
Yes.
Writing things down. A lot of ideas are swirling in heads without actually on paper, which improves the chances of it actually coming to reality. And then taking that even further by celebrating in advance. It's so brilliant.
Yeah.
So I had the opportunity to meet several of your team members that are also members of HeartLink Network Women, and who, you know, I'm a client of Salad Master. I'm in health and wellness as well. And so anything that's going to help reduce the toxins in my life and help me to sustain great health and longevity and vitality, I'm interested in. And I was really impressed by the presentation and things that I didn't even know after 20 years in the industry about using quality materials in your cooking so that you don't have toxins leaching in your food. So very impressed. I have heard from them so many times how they look up to you and appreciate you and value you and your husband as leaders. And I know from experience that when you make your team feel that way, that they want to put more effort. They believe more in themselves because they feel that belief that you have in them. So can you share with us about building team and supporting team, and how that's fueled the business that brought you here today?
I think the most important thing is show appreciation, genuine appreciation. And we show appreciation for them in many ways. We take them out for dinner. You've probably seen a lot of stuff. We take them out on trips.
To
Sometimes
dinner, you took him all the way to Paris for dinner.
That's right. So, that's how you show appreciation with action, right? Actions speak louder than words. And if you're just saying like, oh, we care for our people, but you never do anything for them, you really don't care. The contest, we put them there for them. And even when they win the contest or we win a contest, we always tell them, thank you. You put us there. I had to go to Salamaster. I used to say Jael and James Tanti on all these awards. I say, I don't want you to use our name anymore. Use Happy Cooking, because Happy Cooking got us there. And so that's part of the appreciation. Or sometimes maybe giving a gift for no reason at all. Like I won almost $11,000 in Tiffany stuff. I didn't buy it for myself. I went to Tiffany's and I bought bracelets, necklace, and everybody had a little necklace with their initial. That's caring. That's love. So they feel love and they don't want to leave. We tell them, leave, we want to retire. But they keep coming back and we're grateful. We love them so much. I pray for them every night. I say, thank you, God, for our business, for our children, for our grandchildren, our consultants, our dealers. And I'm always there because I really love and I love the people. And you might be surprised at this. I didn't really make a lot of money and the millions of dollars that I've made personally has been an investment on the money that I actually got. Whatever salaries I like to save. I mean, I don't like to just save and not play, but I also save for a rainy day. I save so I can invest in whatever things that I love. And so we all have to be careful not to, just save the money and put it away. You have to, I love investing in real estate. That's one of my loves. I love investing in stocks, and I never even knew anything about it. I just, so it happened. Somebody lost all my money and I decided, no, this is bringing your grocery bag and there's a hole in the bag. Somebody's gambling with your money. I decided, you know what, if I'm going to lose money, it better be me because I'm the one who actually made the money. So
you had a situation where you lost money because of someone that you trusted that failed you.
Yeah.
So how did you get through that? And did you have any key learnings? Did you learn anything about yourself in that process?
I think the biggest thing that I learned, I've always learned to lean on myself because I truly believe that God created us and gave us self-sufficiency. One of my, I always say, people don't lack resources because we have everything we need. We lack resourcefulness. And so anybody can reach the heights where we are. And so I truly believe that I had no one to blame except myself, but I also didn't beat myself up, over it. I thought, okay, that's done, it's gone. At some point, I had to accept I'm the one who put myself there. I'm the one who gave the money to this person, to this money manager that I didn't even know. And instead of going, I shoulda, coulda, woulda, I just thought, you know what? It's okay. I'll get a bonus this year again, and I'll start all over. It's a mindset. Because if I sit there and cry about what I lost, I'm not going to get ahead. I'm not going to move ahead. It's not going to move me forward. It's not going to move the needle. But if I go, okay, this time I'm going to take the responsibility. I'm going to do it. And I'm just going to go and read. Once again, I love to read and I love books. So I had to go, okay, what made this person rich? Why did this guy like Warren Buffett, he was good at investing. I'm going to go read his biography. And I learned from there. So you want to be great in sales? Go read sales books. You want to go, you want to be a millionaire? Go read the story of the millionaires, So it's and I read a lot about them, and people, some of the great people that were huge in real estate. And sometimes, they had to do things that some people had to file bankruptcies, but they were up again. So once you decide that you want to be successful, nobody can put you down because it's a passion, it's a desire, it's something that keeps on calling and calling and calling. And then you go like, nope, I know that I'm fit for more and I should do more. So therefore I'm going to do it.
So you had a really big why, and you talked about living in an apartment, that you had some challenges with the neighbors. Let's go deeper than that. Like, what was really happening? How big is your why really?
My biggest why is my family, my children. And I could not provide to them education. They were little at the time when I started this business. And so I wanted to make sure I had money by the time my daughter graduated from high school. And so I had to think about it. I couldn't just sit there on the couch waiting and hoping that something would happen. So I had to really get out there and prospect. Prospecting really is the way to anything that you want in life. So I used to get up at 4:00 in the morning in line in my car with everything in the back of the truck and waiting to see if I could get into the Orange County Fair. And I was like, okay, that person got in. I kept praying and I got in. I didn't make sales there, but I went there to meet people. Then at first, I didn't want to spend a lot of money because it was a new opportunity. So I would go to the swap meet to meet people. So everything that I did was towards meeting the people and creating the business that I didn't have. And so I would knock on doors in my neighborhood. And I mean, that people used to say, oh, that was like old, that was like in the early 1940s and the 1950s, people did business like that. Well, I have to remind you that people are people, and some people are willing to open the door and some people are not willing to open the door. But as long as you don't give up, and you just have to find way, because people will create your business. And as I said earlier, if you treat them right and if you treat them good and you have something that you love, people will see through your heart. And people want to help you. People want you to be successful. Like I used to do a flip chart and I would tell people, this is my why. This is why I'm doing this for my daughter. I want her to go to school. I want my son to go to school. I want my son to have everything so they never have to ask the government or they never have to ask for a student loan. I had a student loan. Like I was like, back in the days, it's like I had to mortgage my home to borrow money and I was on a 13% interest and I had to pay. I had to pay back that loan, and I could not let myself just walk away or file for bankruptcy because I couldn't pay it. No, I had to work hard to pay everything I owe. I had to work hard to save the money. So I had to really get off the couch and go do it. So if you really want to do something for your family, for yourself, you have to go out there. You have to take what I say, take the bull by the horns, and follow through. And you have to do it every day. I did 30 presentations every single month. I went prospecting. I was calling people. I was following up. You have to find a way.
Were there days that you got out of bed and didn't want to go do those things?
And it's kind of like when you are exercising, there are days that you don't want to go exercise. And the very day that you go and do it, that's the days that you have the breakthrough. Yes, there was many days that I would look at my calendar. I would always triple book my appointments because in case somebody canceled, that's the one thing.
That's a good
anticipating. So if you're in this type of business, either network marketing or direct sales, you have to anticipate. You have to like triple book yourself. And if they all go through, I will give it to other people that didn't have the ability that I had, which was I was great at meeting people. I was great at booking. I was great at recruiting. And so I would always look at my calendar and say, oh, I don't feel like it. I really want to take a nap. But you know what? I would yell at myself and say, no, remember your dreams. Remember your why. And that kept reminding me, that kept me fresh. And those were the days I didn't want to do it. Those were the days that maybe I recruited 2 people. Maybe I sold 3 sets. And it was so exciting. And for me, it's like, I have this, never give up on your dreams. Never give up. It's too early. It's like I talk about like the man who had the farm that he was digging for gold and he gave up digging and then he sold his farm. And then all of a sudden, this guy sold the farm and then within 5 feet of digging, he struck gold. Wow. So those little stories, they remind me why never give up on your dream. So if your dream is to be a millionaire, do it. Go for it. If you don't want the millions, it's okay. Not everybody wants to be a millionaire. I was so poor. I wanted to be a millionaire. I didn't know what that looked like. But when I actually reached my first million, I was ecstatic. I was happy. It is not because I got the $1 million. It's because who I became as a woman, who I became as a person, to have achieved that after I lived in a crummy apartment, people with a broom. So, but it's all because I had a dream. And my dream, it has always been and it still is, to provide for my children. And now that I'm a grandma, is to create a legacy, to live the legacy, not leave it behind, to live it right now for my grandchildren. Because, you know, the family keeps expanding. I mean, that was like 30 years ago. My family has grown, and I'm really excited to say that we take them on trips. We love spending time with them. I don't have to work, and but I do it because I love people. To this day, I do free pro bono programs, coaching people, doing YouTubes, doing stuff so people can actually reach me. You know, it's like, hey, you want to send me a message? I reply. Just do it on YouTube. Because I reply to every message. I just don't reply to the negative ones.
Right. No negativity.
No.
You're a super positive person.
Yeah.
You mentioned never give up on your dream. And a lot of people have lofty dreams. I like to suggest dream and do, because it doesn't happen out of thin air. You're perfect proof of that.
Take action.
You had to take action. I love the acronym ACT. Action changes things. You have to act to make progress, to move forward, to achieve that dream. So dream and do. And all that you did, it's no wonder that your walls are covered with Happy Cooking Company plaques and your team is following in your footsteps. You've got team members like Mitzi Cristobal. She's been with you for 18 years and she is booking 30 events a month. So she is your mini me. And Teresa, is another person that I know on your team. And they're both just go-getters, but they've learned from the best. And I have another thought in regards to your big why, because your why it drove you to stay committed, to keep your eye on the prize, to pull up your sleeves and do the 4 a.m.s in the mornings. Now, for the woman who's watching this, who thinks maybe her why is not big enough, can she still dream and do and achieve millions when your why isn't quite as big?
Absolutely. I truly believe that you have to find something that you want. You know, as I said earlier, most people, they know what they want, but they're not willing to go do the things because the purpose is not clear. So once you find a clear purpose of why you want it, you will get yourself to go do things. No difference when you want to get fit, right? Number one, you go, okay, you know, blood pressure's going up. I've been eating too much fat foods. You know, then all of a sudden say, why do I want to do it? Then you go, I want to stay here for my wife or my husband. I want to stay here in this world for my grandchildren. You know, I want to see them grow. I want to see them graduate. And so what's the massive action? You need to go and get on that treadmill or start exercising so you can achieve that goal. Nothing comes by itself. Nothing. We have to take action on everything. We want better health, get better products. You get the juice flash where you have like all these superfoods, you know, cook in your Salad Master cooker so you can retain all the nutrition, you know, and drink excellent water. You know, lots of stuff, you know, that helps us hydrate. Walk, even if you cannot move, walk. If you're sitting there, you know, like move your legs or do something, dance. You have to just find something to do that helps you upgrade yourself. To me, I believe in upgrading you. You don't have to be new. You don't have to be someone else. You can have mentors. I have lots of mentors. Some of them are dead, but I still love them, right? Like Zig Ziglar.
God bless you.
Yeah. And so it's like we have to find mentors that inspire us, you know, and then, okay, what did it take for this person to do? For me is follow through. Get something that you can get behind, which is, what do you want? And ask yourself, okay, what do I really want? You know, sure, you want to provide for your family, okay? What would drive you to want to do that? Okay, so what is the purpose? Why? Well, I want to take care of my children. I want to give to them.
So it doesn't necessarily have to be a why that makes you cry. You were probably crying, you had a big why that made you cry, but it doesn't have to be one like that. But determine what it is you want in life, that you want for your family. And I loved what you said about legacy. A lot of us, when we talk about, well, we're building our legacy, we're thinking what we leave behind in the people that we serve and make an impact with, or the money that we're able to pass on to our children and their families. But I loved how you said you're living your legacy, because that's really the ultimate. Live the legacy. Don't wait till you're gone.
No.
And so that's what you've been able to achieve. And that's just, it's so just moving to know that you worked that hard with that commitment and that your eye on that goal of what you wanted to achieve in your life and level up.
Yeah.
Because you can't do anything with the same mindset that you have currently. No. There's a saying that I love. It's, if you keep on doing what you're doing, you're going to keep on getting what you get.
I say that too.
So,
I say that too.
So if you are, for the entrepreneurial women watching or men watching, it takes that next level thinking and mindset and action.
Yeah. And I think it was Albert Einstein who said, you can't solve a problem with the same mindset that you had when you created the problem.
That's a good point.
So you have to really, like you said, you have to level up. You have to in your mind. If you have a specific mentor in your life, you can say, okay, what would that person do? I remember people used to say, what would Jesus do, whenever they wanted to be kind to people. But in business, okay, what would this person do? What would Zig Ziglar say in this situation? So here's the thing. I love to read, and I love to take the message from every book, including even the Bible. I would take that Bible and I would read my favorite thing was the parables, because sometimes I would get into worry, and so I would go, okay, what is worry? So I became curious, and then it made sense to me that in that little passage it would talk about the birds, and I never really dawned on me like, yeah, the birds don't plant seeds, they don't sow, they don't do anything, and yet God takes care of them. And so faith is what kept me there, because I knew that if I have faith in myself, faith in God, faith in the product, I've become unstoppable. Mm-hmm. So that's why I always tell people, I never worked a day in my life, because I love so much what I do that I don't see it as work. I see it as play.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. That's wonderful. Now, you mentioned belief in yourself. You obviously had belief, you read from the masters, you trusted that advice, you grew as a person, you became someone else really, through this journey. How do you transfer that belief onto others, the ones that joined your business, like Mitzi and Teresa, and they were young, so they didn't have enough expertise and knowledge to really believe fully. So how did you help them believe in themselves?
I did a lot of inspirational coaching for them. And I think that the biggest thing is actions speak louder than words. They saw what I would do. They saw what my husband and I did. And by the way, I've never been too proud of what we have accomplished. They would see me, like if something needed to be done, like clean the toilet, take the garbage out, I did it. They saw me doing cooking classes on the stage for 2 hours. They would see me like 3 hours in advance. They saw me serving people. Mm-hmm. So they saw that I was never had too much pride to do things. And they realized, if she can do that, I can do that. And so they see hope. And this is the whole thing. When you see hope that other people are doing, and you go, if they can do it, I can do it. And so I think that that's inspiration for them, knowing that if they follow the same recipe, it's like a recipe for a cake. If I give you the recipe and you move one little item or you leave something out, it's not going to be my recipe. But if they follow the recipe exactly how I made that cake, how I made this happen in my own personal life, they go, If it worked for her, it'll work for me. It's the same thing that I did. I followed someone else's recipe and it worked for me. And that's what I want to continue to convey to people, that none of us are so special that we reached all our goals, but we're all special, that if we want something in life and we take the action that's necessary, you don't even have to have a why. But if you take the action, because you can't control the results, but you can control your activity, and the results will just automatically start happening. And that goes for anybody on any business. It's keeping your doors open. Like for me, I wasn't afraid if people called me at 11 o'clock at night, they were making a sale or they were at a customer's home, we answered the phone. Even to this day, I'm at 3 o'clock in the morning texting people back. Not because they're at home, but sometimes they see me that I'm awake, especially if it's social media. They go, "Oh, she's awake." They'll send me a message back. So it's always being there, present. So I think that they see that I've always talked about, you're more than enough. And I always praise them, and I always tell them, I'm so excited about you. I know that you can do this. I encourage them to invest. I encourage them into buying real estate. I encourage them into do something for their families. And you got this, just keep on going no matter what. So that's I think that they see me doing the things that are necessary to be successful, and then they just follow the same path and they'll have the same cake as me.
And you and your husband are so genuine, and that matters. You're genuine, you're heart-centered.
Yeah,
like HeartLink represents the HeartSeat. So you're aligned with the values of HeartLink Network Women, and which are friendship first, like truly genuine. Right. Like when you care about somebody.
Love that. I love about
always add value. You're always adding value for your team. Rise by lifting others, which is clear. You gave the credit, all those hundreds of awards. Instead of Jael Tanti, it says Happy Cooking Company, because you wanted to reflect the efforts of the entire team. So that always adding value and helping others rise, those philosophies are just deep within you. All these years, it's really the key from what I see to what you built. And to complete, not compete. You talk a lot about wealth through health. And for me, as a master certified health coach myself, I really do believe that health is your true measure of success. Share with me, what do you mean by wealth through health?
It's by taking action on whatever's necessary to keep your health. Because, I think of so many people in our lives, even people that we don't know, they build these big companies, they build this giant, very successful, corporations, but they didn't take care of their health. So to me, they were poor on their choices. And so they didn't take responsibility to take care every day of eating the proper way, doing the things that are necessary to keep your health. Sometimes people go, you're healthy because your DNA. Well, you know what? If you don't take care of your body, you're not going to take care of your business. That's the bottom line. And so whatever, like you've been like a successful coach, certified coach and health coach. But if you didn't take care of the things, if all you lived was just on vitamins and minerals type of thing, and you're not eating enough vegetables, you're not eating enough protein, you're not eating all these things, then you're only doing a little bit of the whole program. You have to have a total program in your life.
It's a lifestyle.
It's a lifestyle change.
Entire, every aspect of your life is intentional. And it doesn't mean that you have to be super strict. I don't believe in deprivation. I believe in still, enjoying yourself, but prioritizing your health in, spiritually, mentally, physically. All of those things are important, just to be intentional about every day. And the next question I have around that is, how do you feel that health ties to business and success?
The way I feel is because when you're healthy, you think better. Your mindset changes, because truly, if you live just on junk foods, it also reflects, because sugar will affect the way you think. Sugar will make you tired. And you can give your 12 hours a day successfully, you know, with energy. I never run out of energy. I always have a lot of energy.
Me too.
Because, you know, I eat the right foods at the right time. And, you know, sometimes I create more energy by going on a fast. I just came off of a 6-day fast,
Wow.
you know, got rid of a lot of inflammation in my body. And it's almost like a reset, but it's also reset in your mind as well. You know, that you can do this, you know. So to me, I don't live to eat. I mean, I don't eat to live. I live to, I mean, I don't live to eat. I eat to live. And so I have to make sure that my mind, my heart, my soul is in the right place. Otherwise, my health starts to decay. And so I think in possibilities. You know, like Dr. Robert Schuller, one of his things, when I learned when I was just like a young mother, he would say, what would you do if you knew that you couldn't fail? And I'm like, a lot. It's like, if I knew that I was that I was going to be guaranteed success, but there's no such thing as guaranteed success. You guarantee it, again, by taking action, like what you said. And so I love that saying, and even today, in today's date, I always say, you know, what would I do if I knew I couldn't fail? I said, well, I'm going to accept the offer of Caprice. Because of the HeartSeat, I'll do it.
This is an awesome interview. So I was really excited that you're here, and you have so much wisdom. And every time I talk to you, I'm like, wow, she rattles off the greatest. Just like what would you do if you knew you couldn't fail? You know, all of these quotes that you say. I'm a quote girl. I love quotes. My dad used to send me quotes. He would post them on the bulletin board. He would send them to me in college. And so I just love inspirational quotes, which I think is another reason I feel so connected to you, because you're always rattling profound things off, and you've had so much experience. So is there anything that I haven't asked you that you would like to share before we start to wrap it up?
You asked me a question, and you said to me, how do you transfer that to others, not just to the consultant? I'll just give you like a little story. When my daughter was going to college, I wanted her to be a lawyer because I wanted to be a lawyer. So obviously I wanted to live vicariously to her. And just before she graduated, because she did graduate from political science, she brought her certificate home, and she brought it to me, and she goes, Mom, here's your certificate. Now I'm going to go for mine. Since I was a child, if you recall, I wanted to be a veterinarian. So she started telling all her friends and her family. Sometimes I tell you something, you must keep it a secret a little bit until you reach it, until you achieve it. Because she would tell people, I'm going to go and I'm going to be a veterinarian. People's like, what? Veterinarian is so hard to get in that school. Why don't you go to be a doctor? That's way easier. And everybody started talking negative to her. And I'm going to give you this advice. If people start talking negative to you, just go bad seed, bad seed. That's where the faith comes. That's when the believing in yourself comes. Because as people were telling her that it was hard to get in, she come to me and she goes, Mom, I don't think I want to be a veterinarian. It's going to be hard to get into. And I said, no.
She let other people steal her dream.
I say, avoid those people who are telling you that. Your mother is telling you that you can and you will. And she did. She applied to several schools, like about 5 schools. She got accepted in 3 schools. And one of them was the Royal Veterinarian College in London. And so I told her, go there, because that's the top school in the entire world. Today, she's a veterinarian surgeon. And and I'm a beautiful, like, grandmother of a gorgeous little girl, princess to me. And that's what I mean by transferring that, because there's going to be plenty of people telling you what you can do. But you only have to believe in yourself and say, this is what I can do, and go get it done.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Well, thank you for sharing that.
Thank you.
So for the woman that's listening right now, and she knows she's capable of so much more, and she's not fully stepping into her potential, what would you say to her?
I would say, get a journal, number 1, and start brainstorming. Brainstorming everything, even dreams, because you can get little messages from dreams. So get a journal and start writing down all the things that you think you want at first, and then just put everything. I don't care where it is. I used to put in there that I wanted an airplane. I did all kinds of things. But eventually, you start moving towards the direction of your dreams. You start moving towards the things that you really want. It's like, yeah, this makes sense. This makes sense. This doesn't make sense. And I start circling. So for you out there that say, you're not clear on your goals, you're not clear what you want, you're not clear on your purpose, and you don't know where to start, start. Doesn't matter. Start doing presentations. If you're doing, if you're like a juice plus, go start doing as many presentations as you can, especially nowadays, virtual. It's such easy to connect with people. People are connectable. If you don't have a group page on your Facebook, start one. Just start taking action little by little. Like Martin Luther King said, take that first step even if you don't see the whole staircase. And there was like St. Augustine also said that, something along those lines. It's just take the step even if you don't know what's going to happen. Stop being afraid.
But just do it, like Nike says.
Just do it.
Yeah, because you were doing the 30 presentations a month. Were there ever any presentations where no one showed up?
There was presentations where I went in the door. I had the food in my cooler. I had my cooker on my cooker on the luggage, and I knock on the door. Nobody. Start calling. No answer. I actually returned home, disappointed, disillusioned, and I didn't get to see the customer. There was times when I got in there and people were drinking. They thought that I was like a caterer, that I was just going to come and cater for their drunkenness. And I walk away. That was the beauty about being an entrepreneur, because you can make the decisions every day for yourself, what worked for you. If you don't want to go cook for somebody, if you don't want to do a presentation for that person, you don't go do it. That's the bottom line. If you don't jive with that person, don't do it. Give away the presentation to someone else who can align. I love to align with people that I feel like they want me there. But if somebody's like doesn't want me there, it's almost like I don't want to be there either. Yeah. So there's many times that I spent no sales. There's times that people didn't open the door, didn't answer the phone.
But you still did it. And you learned to triple book.
Yes,
exactly. You didn't waste too much time dealing with that. You triple book, so you always had a backup.
Yeah.
So this has been such a powerful conversation, Jael. I love that we got to do this together. It really shows the difference between wanting success and becoming the person who's willing to do what it takes. And so if you're listening to this and you see yourself in any part of Jael's story, let this be your reminder that success is built through commitment, consistency, sacrifice, resilience, belief in yourself, and belief in others, and who you choose to become in the process. And you don't have to do that alone. At HeartLink Network Women, we're committed to building real relationships that lead to real growth. This is a community where women come together with a we not me mindset, where we complete not compete, where we rise by lifting others, where you're not just seen, you're supported, connected, and positioned to grow. If you're ready to be in rooms with women like Jael, we invite you to connect with us at heartlinknetwork.com. And if this conversation resonated with you, make sure you subscribe to the HeartSeat on YouTube and follow us on whatever podcast platforms you watch yours on or listen to yours on. We have more conversations ahead that will challenge how you think, how you lead, and how you grow. Thank you for making time to be here with us today, Jael. And let's do this again.
Yeah, let's do it again.
Yeah, I would love to sit with you.
And if you want to contact me and want to send me a little message, just research or search on YouTube, Jael Tanti.
And in the show notes below, on any of the major podcast channels, you can just read below and you'll find Jael's information to connect with her. You would be very lucky to have a conversation and just learn from her. As you heard today, really just genuine, heart-centered, strategic, purpose-filled, and driven to achieve the dream, to dream and do, which is exactly what you did.
Thank you,
Jael.
God bless us all.
Yeah, absolutely.
Thank you.
Thank you for joining us on the HeartSeat. If today's conversation offered clarity or sparked something meaningful for you, please share it with entrepreneurs ready to build lasting success. The kind created with purpose at the center and heart in the lead. Or with anyone who could use a dose of positivity and hope for a brighter future. For deeper connection, resources, and community, visit heartlinknetwork.com. We'll see you on the next episode of The HeartSeat.